others, overachievers in this room who have not experienced a buyer-driven market. So you're in a good seat. You're right here, ladies first, okay? Kathy, just walk us. Yeah. No, really, just walk us through. You are masterful at educating your clients.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
I try to be. So I've been in the business for 26 years. So I am one of the ones that can say I've lived through a shifting market before. And so it makes it a lot easier for me to just talk about what I know, talk about what I learned. So we do a lot of video marketing. I do a lot of stuff with the local news. We've talked about, I've done some things with podcasts. I do radio. So my whole...
Wait, you can't just glare over them.
We can go
do radio. You have a commitment where once every Thursday, you show up for a specific radio show and you go live letting consumers interrogate you about the market.
Yes, and the radios. So yeah, for the last 8 years, every Thursday morning, they used to live stream it, so I got used to getting up and going into the station. So I don't get to call in my jammies. I gotta, get ready and go. And then really we just, it's been going on so long. I don't really prep anymore. I just show up and we talk about whatever comes up, and it ends up being great banter because, real estate is entertaining for a lot of people. And if you're going through it, you're really hungry for knowledge. So I think that's what I bring to the table for a lot of people, is that I've lived through so many. I think I've done over $1 billion in sales and 4,000 transactions or something in my career. So I've seen a lot of things, and I can talk to those things.
Absolutely, and so can you, Philip. Philip.
Hello, everybody. I'm trying to see if I know anybody in the audience, but hi, everybody.
Hey. And your superpower, I'll say, are many, and yet you are really visible on video and social and connecting and showing your authentic self.
Amen, amen. I think the biggest driver to, gain clients new and bring in clients that may have, in the past, is authentic marketing. I'm huge on video. I even produced my own little reality show last year because I was like, I'm just going to produce my own. You have to make a way out of no way. You really have to just believe in yourself and believe in what you do and forget the noise, forget the people, forget all the negative naysayers out there. Just do what you need to do to succeed. And I don't know if this is even the topic that we're talking about, but I'm going to keep going with it. Why not? It's really driven my business up 300% from when I was worried about what people thought about me, when I was worried about how people would perceive me, the way I dress, worried about my flamboyancy, when I was worried about all the negative stuff. When I stopped, my business went up, and I feel so good about it. And I hope in this next 10, 15 minutes out here, there's a little glimpse that you get from us and a little inspiration, because I know that you guys have been here for a long time. So thank you guys for staying.
No, thank you for sticking it out. And the reality is you're showing up as your true self, and it's a magnet effect because you're attracting like-minded consumers who choose to work with you.
Yes.
Right? And you also know your numbers.
Amen.
Right.
You can't bullshit your way through a buyer or a seller. And I think we even spoke about this when we talked. Presenting data is truly the most important thing. If you don't know the data, don't make it up.
Right.
Go back and research. I'll get back to you in 2 hours. I'll get back to you after dinner. I'll get back to you. That's the biggest thing, is presenting the sales, presenting the numbers, and I'm sure Kathy can talk about it too.
Yeah. I think even the title of this segment today is a little tricky, because not everywhere is it transitioning from a seller's to a buyer's market. There's a balanced market and something that we're more we had somebody here this week said buyers were on strike last fall, and that's what I feel like. But in our area, the buyers are starting to come back out. We're slipping back into a little bit of what we saw last year, maybe not to the same extent. So more I would say figuring out how to work with a balanced market or a changing market, but we're not completely into a buyer's market yet. And so I think the biggest thing is, that I've found is that the consumer needs to worry about leading indicators and not lagging indicators, and everybody wants to price to their neighbor's house that sold last summer, and that's just not what's necessarily happening right now. So I think if you can come in with the data, like Philip was talking about, the confidence and the ability to educate all together, that's what makes the consumer trust you, and then will let you help guide them to price the house and do what needs to be done to get it sold. And then we talked about emotions as a thing too.
Well, emotions
there.
tend to run high
Always.
on the co-broker side and on the consumer side. So how are you ushering your consumers through the emotions of it? Because homeowners were really calling the shots for a minute, and now that's continuing to morph. And remind us your geographic area again.
We're St. Louis, Missouri, so we're dead smack in the middle of the United States. And we're a little bit behind, like, we don't have the high highs, and we don't have the low lows, like, like Philip sees in his area. But we did see the gamut of emotions running, so the sellers really just had a stranglehold on the market. Buyers were worn out, buyers were ticked off, they just, but they didn't have an option. They had to do what they had to do to get a house. So then when they went on strike, they all of a sudden felt like, man, I don't have to do this anymore. So I can now kick the sellers back. So we were seeing, really trying to manage everybody's emotions because the sellers are reacting to the backlash of what they went through for 2 years, and they want to kind of attack with their lowball offer and, everything they can is kind of stick it back for the 10 contracts that they lost. But then on the other side, the sellers' heads swim because they're like, what just happened? Like everybody was in control. I hear it as a seller's market. My neighbor got $100,000 over list price. They don't want to concede that it's happening to them. And that's what I lived through in 2008, from like 2008 to 2011. That first year or two was the leading edge of the change. Those sellers did not listen. They wanted to put their hands over their ears. They wanted to say, not my house, not me, I have the biggest lot. They just didn't want to believe it. So it took a year or 2 years for them to finally realize it was happening to them too. And that's, I think, where the education for me comes in now. Is like, listen, I lived through this before. Don't do this. We need to look at what's happening in real time right now and make sure that we're doing what we need to do to get you the best offer, but also not react to the emotions of the buyers coming in and beating you up.
Right.
And vice versa. And I know you talked about relationships, so that kind of.
Yeah, I think to go off of what you're saying, a desirable property is always going to sell. So people are going to say, oh, it's a buyer's market, we're going to go do a lowball offer. But in New York, my primary market is New York City, my secondary market is Los Angeles. A desirable property is always going to sell. So when my buyers are like, oh, we're going to come in super low, I like to present to them, well, the sales aren't showing that, in 30 days, 60 days. And I am huge on relationships with the co-broker. I think being nice and kind is truly the only way to get a deal done.
BeNice.com. It goes.
Yeah.
BeNice.com, absolutely. So I feel like one of my superpowers is navigating the relationship with the co-broker, and we've all dealt with bad co-brokers. I always like to listen to Mariah Carey song before I speak to them. Get in the zone. You're going to make it happen, Philip. You're going to make it happen. And just put a smile on your face. It's not about me, it's about my client, and those clients will continue to keep coming back to you, but that relationship is a big thing, and I've just gone on a certified tangent, so there we go.
No, it's all good. We're double clicking on it. The reality is you're contributing the data to your consumers that drives decisions.
Yeah.
And when it's rooted in data, it's indisputable, right? I mean,
Yep.
it's in black and white. I think what I love too, in our former call, you mentioned how you also shared that data with the sellers.
Yes.
Respectfully, in a polished, nice way.
Yeah.
Because, sometimes they need it.
And I think we got out of the habit of that, don't you think, with the market like it was, where you just sent an offer and you either won it or you didn't win it. I have a story, we just had one this week, that one of my newer agents put in an offer. The seller came back at list price. We went back and I said, include the comps, and explained to them why. They came back and accepted our offer. Because no one was talking to them about why the buyer wanted to buy at that price. So.
Yeah, I always, if I'm on the buy side and I'm presenting an offer to a seller, I always provide a comp report, and I say, you're more than welcome to go through it if you want. I'm sure you've done the comps, I'm sure you've done this, but I give everyone the benefit of the doubt. Not everybody has sold, dozens of homes or apartments. Some people are new agents, and maybe they got a listing from their cousin or their whatever, and the cousin is like, we're gonna list it at $500,000 over. So that new agent is obviously gonna say, yeah, I'll take it, why not, let's try. So sometimes,
It's like throw the pasta to the wall.
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
staying? No? Okay, exactly.
so there are a lot of agents in New York and LA, I don't know everybody's track record, I truly don't care. But I will present the data to you, I will present why we're coming into this offer, because I'm confident in my buyer's offer, that it will try to get accepted by presenting the data to the seller's agent.
Sure.
And that might be a little controversial, but I mean, that's how I do it, and it's helped.
Well, seven-figure GCI doesn't lie, so got it. Yesterday, John Cheplack actually mentioned how a lot of agent entrepreneurs, we've digitized our way out of relationships. So bring us to the I mean, Philip, you're masterful at these events, and you have some serious events happening.
I have some people that have been to some of my events right here in the audience. I see them back there. Yeah, you gotta spend money to make money. I do 4 big events a year. I do my birthday party, I do a spring soiree, I do my half birthday party, and I do a Friendsgiving. I'm not kidding, people. We have a full open bar, we have magicians, we have mentalists, we have moments, we have dancing DJs, and it brings to a relationship base that clients don't want to see you like so businessy. It's good to just not, and I make it a rule, because I have a lot of real estate friends too, they come too. No real estate talk at my parties. I don't want to talk about it. I want to talk about Beyonce, I want to talk about Renaissance, I want to talk about dancing, I want to talk about the magician. So yeah, you got to spend the money, and it goes on to the ads that you do. I have billboards down the street, so and anyone, I signed on the billboard down the street. You get a relationship with them, come to my party, whatever. Why not? You never know who they're gonna know, and that's what made me sell one of the biggest apartments that I've ever sold, from a billboard on the street, and me inviting them to my parties, and then here we go.
Nice.
And it's a well-oiled machine. I mean, you're masterful at, look at your career track record, 23 consecutive years, yes?
26.
26, okay, you haven't beat by 30. So,
Yeah.
you have monetized and curated relationships that are really high level. What's a little bit of the secret sauce? Share with us.
I mean, obviously you have to have a passion for it, right? And I was telling somebody today, I love being a student of my industry. Like, I've been coming to Inman for 20, however many years they've been having it. And I love to go back and share that. So that's just bubbles out of me all the time. So I think people are attracted to that because I do have the experience level, and I talk about the knowledge that I have just because that's what I'm surrounded with, and I love being surrounded with it, so.
Yeah, I mean, we're products of our environment. So, oh my gosh, for the last 89 seconds, someone here needs to hear, hey, how do we find balance? Because clearly the market is behaving differently moving forward, and we believe that where we're going is way more significant than where we've been. So is there any just piece of advice, Philip, we'll start with you, that you could just share, someone in the room who's striving to also morph and pivot as things are changing? Like, what are we doing?
I mean, even though I hire magicians, I'm not one, and if I was, I'd be a billionaire. We don't know exactly where the market's gonna go. I tell my clients all the time, this is the reality, this is the data, this is where we're at. I have a great relationship with the seller's agent. This is where we need to go in. If they don't listen, they don't listen. But just giving yourself a break. We're not magicians, we're real estate agents, and we do so much, and we get through so many hurdles, but we're not magicians in the end. So just make sure you praise yourself, and you got 30 seconds left.
Perfect.
So quickly, I would say just buckle down, because there's only certain times in certain industries where you can surge ahead. And you hear people say it all the time, coaches, I've lived through it. The down markets is where the professionals shine. So this is the time to not shrink back. It's the time to buckle down, double down, put more activity in, and then be one of the ones that really comes out on top of this market that's shifting.
Absolutely. The cream always rises, right?
Yeah. And take people out to coffee, lunch, and dinner. I mean, if you know me, every single day I'm out to dinner. Every single day I take 20 people out to lunch, breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Delicious. Let's clap them up. Philip and Kathy.